Like one sister, her father died, and the father was trying to contact her. About a week later, and she all scared. I said, well, let me tell you something. He just lost the physical body. You wasn't scared of him when he was sick in that damn hospital bed. But I thought that the dead knew not what the living do. I said, no, that's backwards, ain't it? The living knew not what the dead do. You know, some old quote from shit she done got some damn way. And all of a sudden she's scared. You see, all of a sudden she's scared and stuff. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy stuff like this. So what we're trying to say here is all of this type of stuff, because they've kept us on the ignorant level as far as the fear level on these particular things here. Okay now. So I just want to give a few things on that particular aspect of what is going on in the esoteric aspect of the Bible. There's more and more of these particular things. But there's one aspect that they say, a new spirit I will put in you. You ever heard that? It's in the Bible. People say about the new soul. What about the new souls? A new spirit I will put in you. This is a process that will happen, and it's probably either taking place in some of you or will take place in some of you. It's taking place in me. So I'm going to give you a particular concept of what's going on. Now let's get into some high science on a metaphysical level. We've got a whole lot of stuff to cover. Y'all all right? Yeah. Okay now. In this book, The Kundalini Energy of Depths. This is the one you want by Lillian Silburn. S-I-L-B-U-R-N, Lillian Silburn. The Kundalini, the Energy of Depths. Now, according to this particular book, when the Kundalini rises, the first thing starts to happen when you become into consciousness. So you have a soul. Your soul is asleep in the bottom of the gastrointestinal tract, in the shit sack. But it starts to rise. It starts to rise up to, now, remember I talked about before, I said, that you can't go out here and you can't give these people this particular information because the simple fact that your heart chakra is not radiating at a certain pace. You're not going to get it nowhere. Because that means that your consciousness is down in your root chakra. And it can't contemplate only the physical things or the apparent things. So it will not contemplate things that have anything to do with that stuff that is on the spiritual aspect. Not unless it's dealt with religion, which is dancing and singing with a motherfucking tambourine. What the fuck is a goddamn tambourine got to do with God? They got a woman down in Atlanta got a Jesus mobile. You gotta see this shit. She ride around blasting gospel music, and somehow this motherfucker band be driving the tambourine. She be doing the tambourine thing. She be driving. You see this shit here? A motherfucking damn 72 Grand Prix. Put your tax up. That shit got to do with God. But mental illness. Call it what you want to. Now, what does that got to do with God? I'm just trying to say, Anyway, the energy inside of, the Kundalini energy inside of you, according to this text, they talk about a new spirit I will put inside of you. So when it rises up, the soul starts to rise. The first thing happens to it is accepted to the heart chakra. And that is why if your heart chakra is not open to a certain level, you don't receive, you can't contemplate things that is on a higher level. So the reason why you are here is because you were born with the heart chakra open to a certain degree. That's why I said you always thought that you were something different, or you thought that you were something special. You see what I'm saying? So now, you have to have the heart chakra open. That's one reason why I was telling also the man to get into the romance thing, because it enhanced that shit. You see what I'm saying? It enhanced that shit when you get into the romance thing and all, you know what I'm saying? A couple of years ago I was up in love and I took that shit to the nut. I said, I'm going to work with this shit here. I'm going to do different than the other men. So I said, I'm going to take this shit here and I'm going to push it. I said, I'm going to play this motherfucker emotion and all this stuff is going on, and you fighting against it. So you be, trying to think of all this stuff, why you still cool. Oh, I'm still cool, And the other brothers, they know when you listen, they said, man, you in love, man. Then they go, they say, man, ain't nothing wrong with being in love, because they done went through this damn shit. You see what I'm saying? So, I said, no, I'm going to play this shit out to the hill. I said, I'm going to play. I said, because the energy that I was dealing with at the time, I liked what I was feeling, because she said, I don't want a spiritual level now. And then I realized, oh, now this is some metaphysical stuff. See, what's happening here is when you're in love, what's happening here is your heart chakra start to open, and all types of biological changes start happening in your body. That's why you are actually, it's a form of insanity. Seriously, what it is this is a metaphysical awakening. And if you ever knew, all you got to do is when you fall out of love or when the karma burns up, we'll get into that particular sign, and you be looking, you say, what the fuck was I thinking? I must have was crazy as hell. The women know what I'm talking about. Because it's a form of insanity. That's why they call it love madness. The Greeks, which was the ancient Etruscans, there's a book called Eros, something the role of Greek sexuality. I get the name, I put it on enough. But anyway, in this book they were saying that the ancients, when they said when you fell in love, they said you have my condolences. Because they know that you are the stuff is opened up, and what's happening when the heart chakra opens up, you start secreting these particular hormones, and all of these alchemical components start happening. And stuff like that. And you just be crazy. So it's a form of insanity. So I used to sit on the phone and with the sister be like, you quite mad, She said, you quite mad. But it was on a whole nother. I said, I'm going to play this motherfucker out to see what happens. I said, I'm going to go a different route here. I'm going to play this shit out. So I said, no, I'm going to go into this romantic shit like on that Hollywood shit. I said, I'm going to play this shit out. I said, what else I got to do? I said, because this shit hit right after damn near 10 or 11 years of being on this spiritual path. I said, oh, this is a damn dimension I done fell into. And I said, I like this motherfucker, so I started playing this shit out. So the first thing I say here is, the first thing you got to do here is, so now, what happened is, you have to surrender yourself to it. So what happened here is, the first thing started happening is the other party start doing shit that get you pissed off. You used to do some fucked up shit. You be like, damn it. Because, she doing some stuff you ain't agreeing to, but you all fucked up and stuff. So you all mad with her. And then you stay the whole day just mad. That motherfucker ain't about nothing. So what happened was it's about 9 o'clock every night I go in and I'll surrender to the shit. But anyway, look, I was now what I would do here is I would go, okay, now look at this thing here. I said, what am I trying to learn? I've been mad all day with this motherfucker right here. Mad at her black ass all day. Then I surrender. I said, no, fuck that. I love her anyway, so I surrender. I surrender to it. And then I realized what I was surrendering to. The physical her, it wasn't even about the physical her. It was about the spiritual aspect, but guess what? The love that I was surrendering to ain't had nothing to do with her. See, what the real mystery of love is, what comes in contact is the person brings the initial spark and the catalyst. And what's happening is these two energies, they come and they meet. And the heart chakra opens. Once the initial contact is made, because both of you fall in love, and the initial contact is made, guess what? The shit that you feeling ain't got nothing, it's not even the person at all. It's your own heart chakra, and it's the love within you. It's your soul. So when you think you're falling in love, actuality, your soul wakes up for a few minutes. Our soul is called the sleeping Buddha. So, if you've ever been in love before, most guys won't admit the shit. But you the one that got that goddamn wedding that your ass had to pay for, all kind of shit here and all, stuff like that. No, you won't admit it, but what the fuck made you go insane enough that you paying money right now when it was cheaper to keep our ass? Right? You wasn't in love. You won't admit the shit. But when you fall in love, the great mystery here is, it has nothing to do with the other person other than the It is your soul that wakes up a few minutes, and that's what the love is. It's your own soul, and you thinking it's the other part. I can't do it without you and shit. It ain't got nothing to do with the other person. It's you. And that's what you are feeling. Why you think you feel it so much? It's your own soul. And that is what you see the Christ, and you see when you see the Christ holding the heart. You ever see the picture of Jesus holding the damn heart? Guess what? The heart that he's holding is the representation of the soul, and that's what the Christ is. They say Christ is love. It's a metaphysical thing. You see what I'm saying? So when you thinking you in love with the other person, you all the range, I can't live without you, I'm gonna blow my brains out and all kind of shit like that. You know, it's your own soul. Now this is the great mystery. When you don't learn that it's the own soul, then what happens here is you don't go to the other level. Then what happens is the karma burns up, which means the soul becomes used to the stage that it is on, and it either goes to another level or it goes back dormant. When it goes to so you can either ride it for what it's worth and learn how to cultivate it, that when you find out it's your own soul. There's a book called Love is a Fire, because it's a fire. It's the Kundalini energy. It's called Love is a Fire by Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. A must-have book. Love is a Fire. Then there's Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. Then there's a badass book called The Science of Love by Dr. John Baines. You gotta have that one. Because that one tells you of the shit on the earth, or what you're dealing with physically with the range people and all kind of shit that's going on in relationships. It's called The Science of Love by Dr. John Baines. You gotta have that, and that's a blueprint. You got to have that and stuff. Then you'll see the motherfucker you've been dealing with all the years and shit, and why things are the way they are. And why you had to put up with the mental retarded type shit that's been going on in your house.
Dr. Baines, you said?
Dr. John Baines. You see, Dr. John Baines. The Science of Love.
What was the other one? Love is a Fire?
Love is a Fire by Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. So now in that book, they say when you dealing with it and you finding out that it's not the person was only the catalyst. It's your soul. So you say, I ain't been in love with this person. No, the person was just a catalyst. You just hadn't cultivated your shit. So you ain't fall. You can still tap back into it because it's in your soul. You just got to wake it back up. So this is the key. When it starts to happen and you find out it's you, when I was saying surrender, I was only surrendering to my own soul. So it's called Love and Annihilation. So there's a chapter in the book, Love is a Fire. When it starts to happen, you let it annihilate you. You say, I'm gonna ride this shit. So what you do is you just surrender to it and let it annihilate your ass. And then you go to the next level. So what happened was that I let the shit annihilate me, and the heart chakra opened, and went to the next level. Because I kept the shit open, and I enjoyed what I was into. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go in, you have to do the romance, you got to play a whole lot of damn, you know, you play the love songs. I'm quite sure the sisters already know about this shit. You play the love songs, you place yourself in the shits. This is some training for brothers, because that's with the heart chakra thing. The sisters don't have a problem with that. You see what I'm saying and all. You see, just that you've been hurt and you didn't understand. You've been hurt because you didn't realize it was your own soul that you was in love with, not that old naughty-head nigga. That person can only be a catalyst for so long. Then that fire burns up. It's your own soul. That's the mysteries of love. But anyway, it likes the romantic thing. So I was playing the romantic music, and I was playing and I was dealing with the romantic movies and shit. And anything romance, I was down with that shit. You see, I was down with that stuff. And so as a result, I cultivated the heart chakra. So what happens is here. There's this heartbeat. It's an irregular heartbeat. So what happens is this. Now, then we go to the metaphysical aspect. When the heart chakra opens, now you don't have to necessarily be in love. Let's put it this way. You don't have to go out here and find some motherfucker to clobber you over the head to go through this. You ain't talking about this. Now, okay, now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go find some more, you know, to do this kind of thing. You just got to understand, because you can also do it through the romance aspect, but I'm going to give you the Holy Guardian Angel also in a few minutes. That way you can hook up with a divine being and don't necessarily have to be with a rockhead who ain't down with some stuff, you know. But it's also cool to also get a nigga on the frequency, too, if you're willing to learn this thing. So now this is the key. Y'all all right? Am I boring you? All right, well, this is important. Once the heart chakra opens, it has an irregular heartbeat. So what happens, you can run down the street and won't get no heartbeat, just get some breathing or something. But then you can go in there and lay down and go to bed and your goddamn heartbeat about to beat out his chest. Anybody got this thing going on? When you go and lie down and go to sleep, and you somewhat wake up and your heart is racing like crazy. If you ever had this thing, that what is happening is this. You have a heartbeat, your soul, see, you have a spirit and you have a soul. Now know the difference. Oprah came on celebrating the spirit. That's what a white man fella to do. Celebrating the spirit. He said nothing about celebrating soul. Because not every motherfucker down here got soul. That's what the Egyptians tell you. Not everybody got a soul. So this is a different way. You say, white people say, my spirit. Yeah, the white people have a spirit. But a dog has a spirit. A rat has a spirit. A skunk has a spirit. Everything down here has a spirit. That's an animal. That's what runs the physical earth. That's what makes everything move on the plane of the physical. A roach has a spirit. See what I'm saying? But not everything has a soul. A soul is an original son that was here in the beginning. Those are the sons of God, are the 144,000, which is actually sons. Dr. Deborah Blair talks about the 144 sons. Those are the original sons are stars. You get star. A star is a what? A sun. A sun, solar, soul, S-U-N of God, S-O-N of God. It's the same thing. They're still talking about the missions of the soul. But not everybody has a soul. They have spirits. Everything down here has a spirit. So when you open something, we celebrating the spirit, the human spirit. That ain't shit. The human spirit is the same as the goddamn rat spirit. You cut me and I bleed, and you cut me and you white people say, you cut me and I bleed, and I cut you and you bleed. You cut a rat, and that motherfucker bleeds. You know, the preacher, how I know he's God because he woke me up this morning. The goddamn dog woke up this morning. That don't mean shit. The problem is, why the fuck did you wake me up this goddamn morning? To be or not to be? That's the motherfucking question. He woke me up this morning. He woke the goddamn rat up this morning too. And he woke us up this morning too. And the roach too woke up. That don't mean shit. To be a what? A slave? To pay this motherfucker so he can get rich, the preacher? You know what I'm saying? So that don't mean that. Everything has a spirit down here, but not everything has a soul. Now, when the soul wakes up, so you have a spirit that runs, and the heartbeat that you have is a spirit that's beating inside. And that's the spirit of the earth creating life. And that's the beat of life. That's life. But the soul is dead or asleep down in the lower intestinal tract. And when it starts to rise up, it too has a heartbeat. So when that heartbeat starts to happen and you go to sleep and you have another heartbeat that's beating faster, that means you got two heartbeats. Now stick with me. So what happens here is as the heart chakra opens up. Now one other way to get the heart chakra to open up is also too is several ways. Number one, if you can somehow devalue life itself, which means you have a detestation for all that exists. Now, this is a spiritual aspect. What it means is, the things that you worry about, if they're only an illusion, they are things, a series of events that never existed. So who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I told her, who gave a shit if I didn't make up my bed? Like the sister's like, excuse the house. I'm like, I ain't made up my fucking bed in a goddamn year. And I did that on purpose. You see what I'm saying? Why? You know, who are you? No, I'm trying to say, I'm working out of those things that you think is so important. You have to reverse things. You remember, full house, empty mind. Empty house, full mind. You see what I'm saying? We was more creative when we didn't have shit as black people because, goddamn it, we didn't have a whole lot of bullshit to distract us. So we had to create our damn self.
That's right, that's right.
Make our own self laugh.
Yep.
Yep. See what I'm saying? So who's on the higher level? The nigga around the liquor store or you with all your gadgets? Nigga around the liquor store is on the highest level. Oh, but he gonna drink himself to death. Well, death is the crown of life. He ain't got a shit, piss, eat, or pay the cracker some taxes. Just the way you look at things. Now, dealing with this particular science, the heartbeat, so you devalue things in the actuality. You say, well, how can you devalue things? In your mind, you be like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? So they cut my goddamn phone off. You know what I'm saying? I use the drums. No, it's not like, you know, your mama used to say, you know, mama ain't get the Kool-Aid going or the soda going. She go, drink water. You ever heard that shit? Drink water? Yep. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. You know, when it's interesting how they get when shit run out. You know, shit run out in the house and all of a sudden they get practical on your ass. You know what I'm saying? The TV broke up. Listen to the radio. You know what I'm saying? Radio broke. Well, sing, nigga. You know, do some shit like that. You know, that kind of thing. So now, so what you're doing is you're psychologically, they're saying being in the world but not of the world. So you don't necessarily have to go and get you a robe and some sandals and some shit and walk out there with a cane and walk around and eat out the trash can and say yourself spiritual. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, don't cut off my goddamn electricity. Shit, I don't want to custom some damn electricity. You know, I'll pay you your $65 or $200 or whatever for that elective. Them electives, like my grandma used to say. Let me cutting off my electives. But I will pay you for the electives, but it ain't about, it's a psychological thing. You don't have to go out here and somehow psychologically deny yourself or whatever, because it's hard on the physical realm. But what we're talking about here is a form of, it's in your mind. You psychologically do these things, but they say be in the world, but not of the world. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, you open, what you're doing is you stop this world to give your soul time enough to wake up. Your soul is not waking up because your soul, you so immersed in this shit. You see what I'm saying? You so immersed in this shit here. You know what I'm saying? And another thing also too, which is the number one destroyer, the number one thing that retards you from going to a higher level, and that is family members.
Okay.
Family members. Your family members are not on board and not and are standing in the way based on some fucked up shit. You're supposed to cut them niggas loose.
Right.
You gotta cut them loose. Now what happens here is there's a spiritual warfare. And when certain aspects of the spirit world, there's another, because there's a war going on. There's a bunch of entities that don't want us to rise for the simple fact they don't want to get up off their ass and turn over the reins to us. So what they will do is they will send spirits down here, incarnated into your family members, to get on your ass and to hold you down because they know based on family members. You understand what I'm saying? They know based on family members. You get all emotion, and you will stop what you're doing. That's why you got to, and it could be your mama, it could be your children. It'll come with anything that's close to you, but that's when the motherfuckers you got to cut loose. It's the bullshit family members and stuff. That's a spirit thing that's stopping you from going to another level. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand those types of things and stuff when it's coming into spiritual warfare. Now, going right along, what we're talking about here is this. I want to get into this whole thing. I got to get into the Iraqi thing to show you how this shit is all carrying out. Because that war was a spiritual war that went down. We got to get into this stuff here because the shit is on. It's on. Now, your soul has its own heartbeat. I know people, the spiritual, got impeccable diets but got high blood pressure. Skinny high blood pressure. So what the first thing happens is, you're going to get high blood pressure. That's a spiritual attribute. Now, I know me, I'm a holy man. Now, I can tell you I don't get sick. And now, and the hot grease dropped on his hand 2 weeks ago, and you don't see no fucking scars. That's a testimony right here. Hot grease. Al Green couldn't get away from the hot grease. and the hot grease is even more than hot grease. But that hot grease stick to your ass. But the damn hot grease stick to your ass too. That hot grease was on my shit. And I smelled some damn shit smelled like bacon. That bitch was cooking. But look at my hand. Nothing. That means it's a spirit thing that's going on. Now, let me bring this thing to you on how this thing goes down. If you're going to get all this in the first chapter, part of this book, you're going to get it. Kundalini, the spirit, the energy of depths and stuff. Now, check this out. When your heart, the first thing you do is you get high blood pressure. Now, the high blood pressure is an attribute because, like I say, is you stroke out and you do things like that because you don't get enough water. The number one killer is dehydration and sleep deprivation and non-exercise. So let me see. I can deal with the water. I can get the water thing right. And I can get the sleep thing right. Now, fuck that damn exercise shit. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. I ain't running down no damn street, no treadmill shit now. You know what I'm saying? I'll find another way. Stuff to get your fat off. But one of the number one killers is dehydration and sleep deprivation. So now, we have strokes because we have dehydration and sleep deprivation. But high blood pressure is an attribute. Most spiritual people, you'll find out you have high blood pressure. Now, my point here is that the white man is so interested in killing you and locking you up. Why the hell he's interested in your high blood pressure and got commercials on high blood and hypertension in black people? That's because spiritually you're supposed to have high blood and hypertension. Now, first of all, this is the first thing happening now. Because I'll get back to that in a few minutes, but let me show you something. I'm from a place called Mullen, South Carolina, population 6,000. And them goddamn niggas down there ain't got no high blood pressure. And, ain't got no high blood pressure. And so they've done something that the white man can't do. And all they did was they got a town called Marion, which is 10 miles away, and all this shit is out of the swamp. And they got this dried moss. You know what dried moss is? All the niggas do is put that shit in their damn shoes, and ain't a fucking nigga in the town got high blood pressure. You get that dried moss and put it in your shoes. The moss. Yeah, that dried moss is hang off the trees in the south. Funny thing about it, if you go down to some place in the south and get that shit and bring it up and put it on some trees up here, guess what? You put it on the trees up and the shit grow, and the damn tree start growing moss. That's a fungus. That's an algae or fungus or whatever that shit is, and that shit will grow. They put that shit in their shoes, and ain't none of them niggas got high blood pressure. None of them niggas got high blood pressure. I'm going to start selling that shit, man. But, so that's one thing. I want to just put that out there and stuff like that. But that lets you know the spirit aspect of how all this stuff here is. How do we get half that shit we do? And we stop listening to the grandmama and stop listening to that shit and start listening to that cracker. And now we dying. How the fuck did we live most 70 years into the 20th century and almost 100 years after slavery with all these damn shits and remedies and stuff like that, and nobody died from shit, and now we falling out at fucking 40. You see what I'm saying? But now we educated. Yeah. And we go to that cracker. He fucks us up. You see what I'm saying? And we stop dealing with what the grandmama and all of them was saying, all kind of shit. Now, one time I had an abscess and went and had to go to a damn clinic, and I went to the free clinic, but I still ended up having paying fucking $25 for some damn what you call that shit, antibiotics. And when I got home, I had the bottle in my fucking hand. One girl said, "Goddamn, I wish you'd have called me. All you had to do was take some lemon extract and put on the shit." She said, "You had to take a damn week and don't drink no milk, no dairy product, no fish, or nothing. They make that shit work. And who's to say if you got off the milk and the dairy products that your shit wouldn't go down anyway? I put the lemon extract on me and woke up the next morning and shit had a whole bottle of pills I didn't even take and my shit was gone. Off of shit her grandmama told her. But we all educated. You see what I'm saying? So that's what that whole thing is about here now. And now your spirit tells you what to do. Now your spirit tells you every day what you need in your head. Now how you say, well, how do I know my spirit tells? All you got to do is to sit down and start using your imagination. You thinking it's your imagination. That's a channel coming through. You see what I'm saying? But see, you can't bring yourself to have confidence in your own spirit. You see what I'm saying? In your own spirit. It's like, one day I'll tell a goddamn lie on the telephone and the next day the fucking lie comes true. Shit, man, I do that shit a lot. I was scaring my damn self. What the fuck going on? I know this is a lie. I lied yesterday. And the next day the damn lie comes true. The creative imagination. So you can heal yourself with the shit right in your kitchen. You just go in and open up the pantry and you look and you tell the spirit what looks good in that and have confidence. Plus you don't realize this here too. Even if the shit up in there wouldn't work, if you just took the shit anyway and believed it worked, the body process gonna help the shit work any damn way. And you don't even need the medicine to do the damn shit. You see what I'm saying? You don't even need the damn medicine to do the shit. One, like I say, it's the same thing with the damn pregnancy shit. One sister said, I know what I do. She said, I did it last month. She said, I did it 2 months ago. I sat in the closet in the dark and told her damn baby this. Good, get the hell on back, and the baby didn't come. You see what I'm saying? And I became an expert. I said, I'll bring no goddamn period on tomorrow. I could have made all kind of money in 2000. All the pregnant women was coming through. Got pregnant. I put my hand on their shit and shoot fire up in the womb and burn up the goddamn seed. And I say, this, and I tell Lilith, that's the god of sending shit back. I say, motherfucker, that goddamn period gonna be on at 6 o'clock. Gonna be hell of it. Sister calls my period on. Wait. And all the time, you do the shit, because see, I remember, because what happened was I was talking to a psychic sister one time. And I said, well, there's a sister called me and she wanted to know if she's pregnant. And the sister said, well, you know, that's because we lost the knowledge. She said something in the channel. She said, because the channel that was coming down said, well, that was, she said that there used to be natural birth control, mental birth control. And she was going to try to tell me what to do. And about 2 weeks later, I said, hold on, that motherfucker, that channel came down and said, the spirit said, the motherfucker used to get rid of this shit in their mind. I said, oh, okay then. And so many words, they said that they had a process of learning how to send the damn shit back and getting rid of it through the mental process. And that's just some shit that over the time of years we lost. So I started doing that damn shit, man. I started doing that stuff, man. And sister was coming in on, and I was sending that shit back. So one sister, she said, yeah, all I got to do, she said, I got to get in the closet and stay in about an hour. She said, I'll send that shit on back. So that means that the body can do anything you want the body to do. You see what I'm saying? So now that the magical field is back now, most of the things you're going to do, that's why these rituals and stuff that they selling in these stores, they ain't going to work because now you create your own shit. And because you speak it into existence, the shit has to work. So you can create your own shit. You see what I'm saying? Like that. Now, one brother was like, oh, fuck your ass up. He go home and write them niggas' name on a piece of paper, go in the bathroom, piss on it, shit on it, and flush it down the damn toilet. Motherfucker come back and say, man, I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up. Yeah, you can do that shit. You see? But you got to believe in it. You see? You got to believe in the science, because all it is the science of the mind. Now, dealing with this soul, once this thing matures, the first thing it does, it will come in, and it's in the Sanskrit text. The first thing happens is it'll come in, And I talked about this on some of the videos, but I repeat it. So the heart chakra came in, and I became spiritually pregnant, which means when your soul starts to rise up, I don't know about women, but in men, they will take on the characteristics of what a woman had to go through in a physical birth. So what happens is when your soul starts to rise up, the first thing happens is you go through a spiritual pregnancy. In my case, my shit became pregnant. Been pregnant every goddamn since. I'm like, well, shit, you matured, you could have goddamn got rid of the fat. But this is when I knew shit was pregnant. So the heart chakra opened up, and then one night in January 2001, right on the millennium, I laid down, and this goddamn baby is kicking in my fucking stomach. You know, you hear women talking about the baby is kicking. This shit is kicking in my stomach. So I get happy because I know what's going on. I said, okay, I'm spiritually pregnant. All right. I know what's going on. Then one brother from got some of the text, the Buddha text, and they talk about it in there on how so what happens is when the soul becomes first when it's born, it does the same process of what a person is when it's a baby being born. That's called the baby of the egg, the Buddha Rupa, or the Harpocrates, or the baby Jesus. So the baby Jesus is your soul. The baby Jesus is your soul. So the baby of the egg. So what happens is this. This thing starts to birth in you. You become pregnant. This shit was kicking. I go to the bathroom. I'm shitting out baby dookie. I'm like, what the fuck going on here? I'm shitting out baby dookie now. Some little Gerber shit. What the fuck is going on here? But see, the spiritual process is the spirit is trying to send you things that you know. These abnormal things start to send you things that you know that your body's going through a metamorphosis, and you pay attention. So then, now the pregnancy only lasted, it's an acceleration thing, so it happens in a couple of weeks. So one of the scientists sisters say, yeah, that shit gonna mature into a full-grown adult in about a week or so. So it matured into a full-grown adult by February. And you can tell if you get my tapes. You get my tapes from 2000 on back. I curse a lot, but I'm serious. And then get the shit from 2001, I'm making jokes and shit, because this damn entity done come in, and he's a comical fucker. You see what I'm saying? And I used to be a comedian in college and whatever stuff, but this shit done came back, and I can't stop telling these jokes. So 2001 shit, I'm making motherfuckers laugh like crazy. That's because it's a new entity, and he likes to joke. You see what I'm saying? So he's a lot more uncouth, other than the cursing. This motherfucker is deranged. A lot more uncouth, just vulgar. You know what I'm saying? You wash his mouth out with soap. Now, then in the spring of the year, one of the sisters called. She said, hey man, you died in your sleep, and you didn't know it. So what happened was that the heartbeat of the soul cancels out the heartbeat of the spirit. Then all of a sudden, this is what happened when you self-heal. See, it's like a dead person. It's the vampire movies and shit. So what happens is, if you go see the X-Men shit, and the motherfucker was healing and all that shit, they got all that shit from these ancient texts, and they just put it all together in a movie. So what happened was when the hot grease fell on me, you see what I'm saying? Because I got another spirit in me, a new soul that was put in me. And because I got a new spirit put in me, then what happened was, when that started happening here, this shit heals like a motherfucker. Now there's a sister, she born 30 years before me. Now she's now 71. She born on the same day. I'm born 1961, November 28th. She born 1931, November 28th. So she started going through the same metamorphosis. But her shit was different. Her gray hair started growing black hair at the goddamn roots. And started metamorphosing into a whole another type of spirit. So if you're going through some things right now, that's because you see what's getting ready to happen is the change is an acceleration. The change is getting ready to come over each and every one of you. Because what you were thinking as, and one of the books said, and one of the white books I got back in the early 90s, they said, Christ. It said it can be the attainment of a spiritual level, but it can be it's also known as a whole race of people. Because you have to have the melanin to have the Christos, chrysomelos, and it's a whole race of people. So what's happening here is that all of you can start metamorphosis. Now this is the mysteries. Now follow me, all right? Okay, you got the high blood pressure, and that's because the central nervous system starts to speed up. The heart chakra starts to pulsate at a faster rate. The melanin is throughout the whole body, but it's all over the body. And what happens is the central nervous system has to speed up to another pace. And so those different components of melanin, all the components in the universe can coagulate into this new elixir. Now, it starts to speed up, but it needs water in order for it to coagulate. You see, that's the mystery. Now, two mysteries on water. Number one, when you see all ancient texts, you will see us as these fish people, these aquatic people. You'll see all these things. You'll see no more the fish. You'll see Jesus as the fish. You see these fish-looking men in Mesopotamia, and the places. You get the Sirius mission, they got a god with a fish head called Honest. All that's in Iraq. The daggone fish people. That's us. So, you drinking water on a cycle, on a regular cycle, it's just water to deplete. So the body doesn't become dehydrated and depleted. But because you come from a celestial water from the beginning, they know now that you're getting a certain amount of water. And this cycle means that they can have some kind of gene in you that can wake up and mutate in some Christ-like entity. So there's a dormant gene that's in you, some alien gene that was in you that's been reincarnated for all these years, but because of the cycle, you get the water that stays asleep. Or it stays dormant. So they know now, at this particular time, that you might get the right amount of water and that fucking gene wakes up or mutates in you and some monster type shit comes up out of your ass. That's the Christ, that's the Christ energy. So that's why they gotta dehydrate you. That's why. Now stick with me on this, because that's why if you go to the supermarket, they got a whole row of sodas. And these motherfuckers is cheap. You can get 12 packs of sodas now in the supermarket for 99 cents. And on the other row, they got potato chips that's cheap. And potato chips dehydrate you because of the salt. And on the same aisle as potato chips down in Atlanta, they got the soda aisle across the street, and across the other aisle is potato chips. And then they got the peanuts, dehydration, and then they got the popcorn. All on the same damn aisle, and then they got the sodas. So they know that they can shut your shit down by dehydrating your ass. And what happens is, you can drink them all you want, you will get rid of the thirst, but you can't get rid of the dehydration. You see what I'm saying? Now stick with me. That shuts you down because they're trying to shut this alien down through the diet. Now check this out. You thinking it's some shit out here that they talking about the reptilians. The reptilians is inside of you. That's the Kundalini race of people. So when you hear David Icke and them talking about the reptilians, that's us, the Kundalini race of people. You see what I'm saying? You see the Egyptians with the serpent and the crown and the Uranus. Now check this out. And I got a friend that he drives trucks in these sugarcane fields down in Louisiana. Now he's talking to me, and he shows me the sugarcane. I want this sister to give me her pen right now. Your pen. And he said, no, I need her pen because it's the same size. He said that the sugar cane that they use is this size that they grow in the fields down in Louisiana. I said, wait a minute, hold on. I grew up with sugar cane, and the sugar cane was this size. Was this size. He said, no, the sugar cane now is this size. He said, if you come there with this size, they won't buy it from you. So he said, so I said, oh, so they done cloned the sugar cane. He said, yeah, you can't, they don't buy it, they don't have this nowhere in the country. This one here nowhere in the country. You got to buy this, and they give you the seeds to grow. And if you don't have their seeds, you can't grow it. So it's a hybrid sugar cane. I said, wait a minute, oh, there's some shit going on here. Okay. One brother stepped up, that was from Jamaica. He said, yeah, I grew up with that other sugar cane. I said, hell, I did too. He said, and the other sugar cane was medicinal. It did a lot of healing and stuff. He said, because the people in Jamaica make a lot of medicine out of it. He said, but when he went down to Jamaica recently, they was growing this shit too. Now check it out. So I said, wait a minute, this is some shit they're growing, this clone sugar cane. So I went to Detroit about 2 weeks ago. I said, now we're going to get to the bottom of this shit up in here, because there's some shit that's happening with this hybrid thing that's got a lot to do with shutting down us and God. So, because they say that they won't let you grow the other sugar cane. So, this stuff here is in the sodas, and it's in most of the juices. High fructose corn syrup. That's why that shit tastes so good. They got a damn Welch's juice in the fucking in a carton. Some damn grape, and it's some white grape and peach. I be drinking that shit. I be like, damn, oh, this shit good as hell. Now I know damn well that shit good as hell, because that shit is some doctored up stuff. So it's that high fructose corn syrup, which is in everything. So one of the sisters that worked with Dr. Richard Kane, which is the brother on melanin, she works in the lab. She said, you know what happens? She said, what it is? She said, whenever you, sister named Fanny, she said, whenever you swallow that high fructose corn syrup, or that particular hybrid sugar cane shit, she said, guess what happens? She said, the shit shuts down the whole nervous system. Wow. So you walk around, the shit completely shuts down the whole nervous system. I said, oh, but melanin works throughout the central nervous system. When I talk about the rise of Israel going through the Dead Sea, well, the Dead Sea, the Red Sea is your blood system. See what I'm saying? So they said, no, this shit shuts down the whole nervous system. I said, bingo. I told them, I said, it's got to be something that's retarding the melanin. And they got the motherfuckers on lockdown. You see. They got them on lockdown. Plus, the sink water with all that shit has the stuff in it that shuts down this shit too. So the key here is, now remember I told you, I drank 3 gallons of water for 3 days, from Sunday to Wednesday. That's 4 days. And on Wednesday I started time traveling. Because I opened up some of that stuff down in the bottom of the gastrointestinal tract, that deep melanin that's in the growing area. There's a whole lot of melanin concentrated stuff. And I opened up some of those particular centers also. Now, so what this means here is they're shutting down the central nervous system, and they got the people on lockdown because they're trying to stop this invasion. The alien invasion is not coming from out in the sky. The alien invasion is coming from inside of you. Which leads us to Iraq. Now, Iraq is ancient Persia and ancient Babylon. Iraq and Iran, and even Syria. They talk about going up into Syria. They talk about Iran and Syria now. Because we follow the axis of evil. Axis of evil, I'm saying you want to go start with the goddamn White House. So they talk about this now. They went up into Iraq because they're supposed to have been stopping the weapons of mass destruction. Right? And getting rid of Saddam Hussein, or bringing him to justice. Only one problem. They didn't find no damn weapons of mass destruction, and they don't have Saddam Hussein. Well, that ought to let you know that if they didn't have Saddam Hussein, they didn't get fucking Bin Laden. What makes you think they're going to get Saddam Hussein? When both people were working for the United States government. Hussein probably been gone damn near a month before they told you. He was probably gone before they even started the shit, because you got to understand, he's working for the damn government, and there's no such war. Like they told you on Wag the Dog, any war they're going to give you is one that they're going to put on and televise. And their adversaries are the doggone, the enemy in that particular thing is working for them and hired by them. You see, that motherfucker owns some damn island. Remember now that woman Cynthia McKinney, which is she was a senator down there in Georgia, and they got on her and she started telling the damn truth. Talking about how is it that all the money that they had to spend. She said that the government of America spent millions and millions, almost $1 billion to build the tunnels, or to secure the tunnels and work on the tunnels for Bin Laden and them. Wow. Worked on the underground tunnels for their ass. Remember now, Dick Gregory said that Colin Powell came in there, and Colin Powell came in and paid Bin Laden, Colin Powell paid the Taliban a couple of $1 million, something like $40-something million in January. $30 million in January, then they took another 20-something or $30 million in the spring of the year, paid them people to put on this war the right way. You see what I'm saying? And Bin Laden family, you know, they got a whole building and shit at Harvard University to the Bin Laden family. All buddies for damn Bush and stuff like that. So Bin Laden is probably chilling in the goddamn White House with his name on the milk. Who drunk my fucking milk? Got his name and got his shit marked off. You see what I'm saying? But why is it that all these so-called leaders, they tell you that we brought them to power? You see, we brought them to power. So the whole Saddam Hussein thing. So when they went up there, he was already gone. And his son. You couldn't get none of them niggas. You see? It's all fake, just like they blew up the damn building. Now, Delilah said that they had people up in the damn building. He was talking about this the other week, because I lectured with him down in Dr. Delilah in not in Houston, but in Detroit. He said they had people standing up, they had eyewitness accounts of people standing up, and they had like security guards on the walkie-talkie like, did the plane hit yet? Did the plane hit the other building yet? Did the plane hit the other building yet? They was already, you know. Then they had one guy, he had caught on to the shit in the spring of the year about how they were going to have this attack. So he didn't know where the attack was. That's what fucked him up. But he went and gave all these things. It was a general. And he gave all these things to the government. The old stupid ass nigga general didn't even know that the government was planning an attack. The only thing he had done was broke the secrets of the damn government shit. He's too damn dumb to know it. So he got so frustrated till he retired in June of the year because he was all up frustrated. And they called his ass back and said, hey, yo, we're going to give you a job like $100,000 a year being security over the security staff. And he went back to damn work, and the security job they gave him was being the head of security of the fucking World Trade Center. And they blew that motherfucker ass up with the goddamn shit. This fucking asshole, he didn't even know they put him in the same damn building he was looking for the attack, and they blew this colonel ass up with the shit. He was chief of security. And they sold the damn building a month before they blew the shit up. You see what I'm saying? So now there's so much shit on this World Trade Center shit. Now, on this type thing. So the first thing I said, now this is investigative reporting. Because nobody was supposed to know that this thing was blowing up. So I said, all I got to do is just wait a year. They said that there's going to be a year anniversary of the World Trade Center thing. So Spirit told me, go in and turn on HBO. They don't show. They said, I don't know what it is. Them preacher motherfuckers are going to show one thing that nobody else ain't got. Because they had a whole bunch of shit on TV celebrating the year anniversary. They give America something else to celebrate. They make money off that shit. They said, now go on that HBO, because them motherfuckers going to have some shit that other people ain't got. Because that's a group that shit is run out of England. HBO is run out of England, although they say Warner Brothers is a group that run that shit out of England. And their sole purpose is to make black people look bad at every point. So they put on all these bullshit black shows. Oz and the new one they got out, some project. They always got to keep a dope show going on. The Wire and all these things here. And all these these things here, or some other dope show that's going on. That's a part of propaganda. So, they say, go on to HBO, every freaking motherfucker's going to show some shit nobody else ain't got. And sure enough, the Spirit said, now if you see, the Spirit was telling me all this shit. Said, now if you see a clear picture of the plane hitting the World Trade Center, remember it was all staged because no one was supposed to know that the building was supposed to be hit. So that meant that the only cameras that were supposed to be out there was amateur cameras taking the shit. Or so we thought. That was them. They had the amateur cameras out there shaking and shit and all that kind of stuff. The government had them shit. So those shots you saw. But if you see a clear shot, you know that because somebody had to be sitting out there. And lo and behold, I got it on tape. HBO got a clear, panoramic, widescreen shot of the plane hitting the damn building. The first plane hitting the building, and nobody was supposed to be out there. You see what I'm saying? That's because the whole shit was staged. The whole shit was staged. So there's so much stuff on that particular thing. Now, going back. So, the scene shift, nobody asked the question, how we didn't get Ben Laden, what the fuck were you doing going to war with Saddam Hussein? Then they played this thing here so the whole international community, now watch this stuff now, because the whole international community went against them. They had 1 million people marched in Britain, and Britain still went in front. Now, this is the key. This is the key to this thing. They had 1 million people went to Britain that marched. Whole international community, what's that? What you want to do? Huh? Oh, her pen? Oh, yeah, okay. The whole international community went against this thing. Now, that means that they got to bring back Saddam Hussein. They got to bring back Saddam Hussein, or they got to bring back some weapons of mass destruction. You understand what I'm saying? Weapons of mass destruction. They didn't do any of the damn stuff. Now, of course, pass her her pen. I see she looking at it. I ain't looking at it. I'm looking at my damn pen. Nah, I'm just joking. But anyway, they didn't get the weapons of mass destruction or whatever, and then this whole thing happened. They of course, looted the museum and looted the museum and also looted the library. Now, this is the key. Now, we know America. Now, one woman came on TV last week. She said we had over 100 museums told the American government, make sure when you go in to protect the artifacts, because these supposed to be some of the oldest artifacts on the planet. Now, come on now. We're the fucking white man. Am I a damn dummy? This is a white man that will kill motherfucking damn 100 million people for a piece of pottery, because he don't give a shit. You think for one damn thing he blew up, see they playing games with people, and people are so fucking stupid. You think for 1 minute that they went up in there and bombed that place and they let them damn white arrows and them old crazy people loot the place? You think that stuff? Man, first of all, they had that shit cleaned out before they even started the war. And the library. And had it broke into some shambles and all that kind of thing to make you think. And then the first thing they say was, they looted. But you got to understand, they already know that most of the people are going to take what they see on the TV screen, and the people who are smart enough not to believe it, they go, well, what the fuck can you do about it any damn way? Can you prove it? That's how bold this cracker is now. Now, I'm going to get to the key on what's going on in a few doggone minutes. So anyway, the international community turns against them, and so it changed from we going in for the weapon of mass destruction to Iraqi freedom.
Right.
Now wait a minute, hold on. Now you starve these people for a goddamn 10 years. Don't give a shit about them. You starve them out for 10 years with sanctions. And then all of a sudden, you want to free some people now. You know what I'm saying? The crocodile is the great savior. Then, it don't go from American soldiers no more. It's the coalition forces. Right. But you got 2 motherfuckers fighting. You and Britain is coalition forces. Like this is some universal shit from the world against Saddam Hussein. Now what did they tell you that Basra was 85% blue black people? And because they don't show you nothing but the white shit over there. The white looking ass, they don't show you. They sequestered the black ones. That whole land got blue black people been living there for hundreds of thousands of years. Because that used to be ancient Kush. Drusilla Dundee Houston's book, Wonderful Ethiopians in the Kushite Empire, that was all Ethiopia. And Kush, that reached on up into India.